So, will Deebo Samuel make Jayden Daniels NFC's best quarterback? I don't think so. I don't really think that Jayden Daniels. I'll be honest with you, even if Deebo Samuel did not get traded to the Commanders, I honestly don't think that Jayden Daniels would be the NFC best quarterback, regardless of Deebo Samuel going to the Commanders or not. Why? Why do I think that? Well, the reason why I think that is because Jayden Daniels is about to be a sophomore. This is about to be his second year in the NFL. We saw what happened with C.J. Stroud. And not even just with C.J. Stroud, it happens with quarterbacks all the time, or just players most of the time, when they go off their rookie year and then they fall off in the second year. They have they have a sophomore slump. I think that the Commanders are going to be probably the most overrated team in the entire NFL going into this season. I really do. I think that they are going to do okay. I don't think they're going to suck. I don't think Jayden Daniels is going to suck, but I think he is going to struggle. I don't see this him. I don't really see them going off like that, like how people are thinking. And Deebo Samuel, he fell off, man. Like he hasn't really been producing lately at all. So I don't really know why people are really big on this trade. I mean, he hasn't really. I don't think he hasn't done anything at all this year. He hasn't done anything last year. He really hasn't done anything since 2021. So I don't really see why people think Deebo Samuel is going to be this exceptional player. And even when he was good, I mean, to be honest with you, like he was. I was never really big on Deebo Samuel. Never. He's a gadget player. He was a great gadget player, but I mean, I guess he does fit the Commanders' offense really well, and him being there is going to help them out. Scary Terry now, but Scary Terry, Deebo Samuel, but I don't really see it, man. I mean, who knows? We'll see, but I don't think so. But I mean, now with that offense, their offensive coordinator, the Commanders, he's a very great offensive coordinator. He may get a head coaching job sometime this year or next year, maybe, another chance. But I think he can get creative. I think he can do some things with Deebo. I think Deebo Samuel can get to some touchdowns when the time is crucial. I think he is going to help Jayden Daniels. I mean, he's not going to hurt being on the team. He's certainly not going to hurt. But I just don't know if Deebo Samuel has any more left in the tank, to be honest with you. And he hasn't really shown me that he has anything left in the tank in the past few years. I mean, in the 49ers, they were only bad this year. They were good the previous years. And Deebo Samuel was kind of a no factor. So, I mean, like what I don't understand why people think that this is a big deal for the Commanders. I honestly don't. I could be wrong, but usually players like Deebo Samuel, when they fall off, they're done. They fall off. They're not coming back. Deebo Samuel, I think he's taken a lot of a beating. He's a highly physical player, and he is a tone setter. He is the type of player that can really get like a team going, get a whole team rallying up behind him. Especially at offense, he is like a defensive player playing offense. He is a football player. He is like, when he's in his prime, he's definitely the most. How could I put it? He is. Yeah, when he's in his prime, he definitely was the greatest, like one of the best football players in the entire NFL. Just pure football playing. Footballer. But I don't see that. I don't see that type of Deebo Samuel ever coming back. I think he has a lot of mouths on him, and I don't think that's something that you can reverse with all the beating that he's taken since being in the NFL. and he gets hurt. He gets hurt a lot. That's another thing. He's been injured. He's been getting injured, because his body is taking a toll on him. The beating, the physicality, being a player that physical, and being a gadget player, not just doing it in one position, but doing it in different positions. That's what a gadget player is, putting him in different places and scenarios in the offense and everything. And then being a player that impactful and that physical, there's only so long you can do that. There's only so long your body can take those hits. Now, with the Commanders, very talented offensive coordinator, perhaps they can put him in better situations where he doesn't have to be that type of Deebo Samuels that he was back in the day, But I don't know, man. I don't really see him making that big of a difference, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think he can make some great plays here and there, like what Austin Eckler did for them last year. They got some good, versatile players on this team now. Austin Eckler, Deebo, and they have a hell of a wide receiver, Scary Terry. I think that they need to get a very solid running back. They need to invest in something like that. Like a really, really good running back. Keep in mind the Commanders, they got destroyed by the Eagles. But you think Deebo Samuels is all of a sudden, and Jayden Daniels was really nowhere to be found. You think that do you think Deebo Samuel is going to give them that bump? You think Deebo Samuel is going to give Jayden Daniels that bump? No, he's not going to make Jayden Daniels any better than what he is. If you get Jayden Daniels a great running back or a great tight end, yeah, okay then, I will say that. But until then, until the Commanders invest in a really great tight end or the Commanders invests in a really great running back, like I said in my last videos, that a quarterback's best friend is a great tight end, even better than a freaking running back. But no, I said a running back, and that still stands. That's always going to stand. You can look out throughout the course of history, all the great running quarterbacks, they've all had great running backs. Even if they didn't even have a great tight end, they had a great, or not even a great running back, or they probably had a really, 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 really good running back behind them. They had a really good running game, a really solid running game. So that's what Jayden Daniels is going to need to complement his style, to help him when he doesn't need to do everything, when the defense catches up with him, when the defense is shutting him down, when the defense is stopping him, and he doesn't have to keep trying to figure it out. You can hand the ball over, especially if you're playing a defense that's so physical, that can contain the line of scrimmage, that's winning in the trenches. Jayden Daniels is not going to play well. He's not going to always be this Superman guy. It's just not going to happen. It will happen to any quarterback if you're playing against a defense that's extremely physical and you are controlling the trenches. It doesn't matter how many gadget players you got or how great your wide receivers are, really how great your tight ends are. If you don't have a really solid, good running game, at least a good running game where you can keep gaining yards, 1, 2, here and there, and pushing your offense forward, and not only getting pushed backwards, but being dominated in the trenches, it doesn't matter. So Deebo Samuel, they can put him back there as a running back, but he isn't a running back. He's a player. He's not that type of guy that you can just keep putting him in the same position over and over again and expect him to be dominant. It's not going to happen, especially now. So I'll answer that question again. Will Deebo Samuel make Jayden Daniels the NFC's best quarterback? And the answer is, again, no. And that's for two reasons. One, because I don't think a gadget player is going to make a quarterback the best in their conference, and I don't think that and outside of a good running game. Oh yeah, no, not, and also because Jayden Daniels, he's going into his sophomore year, I just think Jayden Daniels is going to struggle regardless, unless you get him a good running game. You get him a good running game, he's not going to look as bad as I think he may. this year. Now I'm saying this now with me saying that I don't think he's going to be like completely like just god awful. I'm not saying that, but I do think he's going to take a bit of a step back. I do think that, and maybe they'll make the playoffs, maybe, but that's my perspective. Let's see what they do in the draft. Let's see what they do in the free agency. If they're going to go into this season just completely depending on Jayden Daniels and just been like, hey, we're going to do the same thing we did last year. If they're going into that with that mindset, they're not going to do very well. They're just not, because you cannot go into this season doing the same thing that you did last year. Any team can't do that. It is fresh now. It is fresh. Everything is renewed. It is reset. You have to go in there with the new mind, new spirit, new soul, and you got to be completely locked in, completely focused. And you got team. You're not playing against the same teams. You're playing against the same brands. Maybe not even the same brands. Some teams is probably trying to change their culture. So you are playing against the only thing you're playing. The only some of the teams that you're playing against. I mean, the only same thing that you're going against in this regular season is the same logo, the same city. Other than that, unless they moved, or changed they invested in new colors or whatever, or a new logo. Other than that, you are going against different people now, a different team now, because these teams are trying to get better. Some teams aren't trying to get better. Some teams don't care. Some teams don't. Some teams they just doing the same damn thing. On the contrary, I will admit that. But what I'm basically saying is that you cannot be doing the same thing that you did. The principles say the same, yes. You train hard, you study, you watch your film, etc., etc., etc. You practice. But what I'm saying is that you cannot be expecting that you're going to keep doing the same thing, and you're not going to add more better tools to your toolbox, and thinking that you're going to have the same amount of success. The NFL keeps advancing. The NFL keeps going, and teams, teams are doing their homework. Coaches are doing their homework. Scouts are doing their homework, and they're watching film. Scouts is watching film, watching tape, trying to bring some new talent in there. The coaches, they are watching the film, watching the tape. The dedicated players, they are watching the film, watching the tape. They are studying you, and they are trying to figure out. And it's called catching up with this player, catching up with this team. Seeing how we can shut them down. Especially if you're a dangerous player. These teams are spending all year trying to figure you out so they can shut you down. And if you are not advancing, getting better, to keep developing, the league is going to catch up with you, and you're going to shut you out. And that's for any player, that's for any team. And so Deebo Samuel, he doesn't hurt the Commanders. He fits them very well. He does. But he doesn't really make that big of a difference, because he's not in his prime anymore, and he hasn't done anything for the past few years. So that's what I believe. I mean, so we can see, the NFL season is going to be amongst us before we know it. We're already in March, and I feel like this year has already started, to be honest with you. I still feel like it's January, and we're in March already. So time is coming, and I haven't done a video on this channel in the past week, 2 weeks. So the NFL season has been gone, so I haven't really done I don't need to do predictions or anything, but I still do need to keep up with the NFL news. Keep you guys up with the draft. Keep you guys up with some players that I think that could probably do good this year. I'll probably have a video. I'll probably make another video about what rookies I think can snap off this year. What rookies I think that can be a breakout year. And I also should probably do a mock draft, see what teams who I think will win. Or not win, what teams will pick who and everything like that. I think my draft philosophy is that pick the best player available. I don't think that teams should really draft based on their position needs. I never really liked that. I always thought, I like picking the best player available. So, yeah. So that's all I have for y'all right now. And I think Jayden Daniels is going to struggle this year, and I think the Commanders are going to be highly overrated this year. I think all of them are going to take a step back. I honestly do. That's me. That's my opinion, and we'll find out. We'll see. All right, man. Thank y'all so much. We'll be back soon all day.